Okay, it's day 122, and this is part two, and this is You Say You Want a Revolution. So I'm going to take this guy here, Joaquin Oliver, as an example. Want a revolution, let's say in Venezuela. He's from Venezuela. He just became a citizen in January. The idea is you need to bring into the United States, like MS-13 did with El Salvador, you need to bring guys in that are your cadre of folks, and you need to train them. And basically, just like Iran-Contra, Contra is the same way. The Hezbollah operation is the same way. We need to train them on the drugs, we need to train them on the weapons, and we need to train them on the cars. The cars are the vehicle for the weapons and drugs going each way. So those are the 3 points. So he's going to go down to Florida for his weapons training. We saw that in the first episode, I think. This kid here with the weapons and so forth. We saw how that worked. So that's easy enough. So the next thing we need to do is bring him to Virginia, and there's going to be a Mahmoud up here as well. So there's a Mahmoud down there in Florida, now there's a Mahmoud up here in Virginia. And he's going to get his car training here. Mahmoud's going to teach him how to steal cars and so forth. And we're going to show you how you build a business for your weapons. Get your weapons down to your insurgents down in, let's say, Venezuela, which is, I believe, happening right now. Now, I'm not saying that Joaquin Oliver, this kid over here, was in any way involved in that at all. What I'm just using him as an example of how you would do this. So he's going to get his weapons training, and we do know that he did do weapons training, or at least the other kid did weapons training with Mahmoud down there, and then the Mahmoud up here teaches you how to steal the cars, and also all the other kind of businesses, primarily around sex. Okay, so this is if you have $20 in your pocket and you want to take over and you want to run, let's say, Venezuela. Okay, so I'm going to bring my kid in up here. I'm going to put him in over in Manitoba. He's going to start on the low end, and then we're going to run him around to these different operation centers to teach the different businesses. So, okay, so we're going to have, let's see, there's a sprayer house. We're going to teach him compromise. So we're going to bring in people, meet different folks at different parties. Parties are going to be the primary way of doing this. We're going to bring them in there. If you can get different people from the Army in, etc., from different friends you make in high school, get to know their fathers, etc., get them pictures of Chiquaya. That's one way. Okay, we have also high school parties over here in Springfield where we get them in, everybody falls asleep, Dumbo drop, and then we send, sexy movies to Pakistan, let's say. That's another way of making money, right? Or we can go over here to the consulate of El Salvador and we can run an operation, let's say, for unloading a boat down here, okay? So they're just basically trying to show a kid like this all the different ways that you can generate income. Now, where the RICO comes in is a lot of times these kids are also encouraged to have 5 or 6 girlfriends. Where have we seen that before? That's the Imran Awan model, right? So, and then it's always the grandmother. Hey, we're gonna get married. We want to get a house. Let's buy a house over here, whatever. And then, okay, move one friend in. Oh well, this other friend of mine's not doing so well. Let's move another friend in. And so that's where you're going to have your all these different houses here in Annandale and Springfield and all these different houses in Chantilly. I realize it's pronounced Chantilly, Centreville over here. You're going to just have a smattering of all these houses where Imran started a relationship, but then we moved one person in, and we moved another person in, etc. And you're going to basically bring all your 50 or 100 cadre of your kind of officer corps to do the training here on the drugs and so forth. Now, I want to explain why it's so important to get that diplomatic passport. Now, you are the ambassador to Venezuela. The first thing I want to do is get you a diplomatic passport so these kids can start stealing cars and then put them on the boat. They might have to drive them down to the Navy Yard here, put them on the boat over here, but they might also have to drive them down to Norfolk, Virginia. But you get the idea. I can drive over to Ocean City, Maryland. I can take this bridge, go over to Ocean City, Maryland, put them on the boat there. From all the data I see, and again, going on the metadata, I think that they're going to Ocean City, Maryland. They're going for those people that we get Twix. I don't know if you remember the Twix, but we get folks to come in with the Twix, and then now Joaquin has to then drive these cars over and put them on the boat. Again, diplomatic passport, there they go. Now we're going to put the guns in the trunk, and we've got half of our transaction. Now the only thing we need to do is go pick up the car when it comes into Ocean City, Maryland, and bring it back here. Now we're going to sit on it, we're going to put it in our house, we're going to fill up our house with, well, let's say cocaine, or we're going to fill it up with marijuana, or we're going to fill it up with amphetamines, or we're going to fill it up meth, whatever it is. We're going to fill up the house with that stuff, and then we're going to sell it off as we can through going to high school, just by being a high school person, or Northern Virginia Community College. Okay, so that's, now you're done. You know, you've got your 2-year degree, you've got your associates. I mean, we might send you over to Bethesda and teach you how to do forensics and how to do, you know, organ recovery and that sort of thing, and then send you back down to the high school down there in Florida. Like there's another kid which is with an identical name of Nicholas Jacob. I always have trouble with his name, Nicholas Jacob Cruz. Nicholas Jacob Cruz. They don't go together. The Russian name doesn't go together with the Hispanic name. But that, you know, that's cherry on the cake for if we want to train a supply or quartermaster type of kid. And that's how it basically goes. That's how you enable the whole system. But the key part of this, and the key reasons for this, are the training. You got to have the training. You have to train these kids in how to set up the low light cameras for all their compromise. These are going to be the kids of the future that are going to be doing these operations, and you don't want to be having them coming back and forth. Now, admittedly, there is going to be some travel back and forth, but you're going to use that diplomatic passport to get cars for everybody in your core group, whoever your core group is, and you're going to be constantly getting guns. Now, when you do take over Venezuela, that's where the Navy's going to start getting involved. That's where we're going to start sending you containerized weapons out of Norfolk, industrial scale. When you start getting a budget, when you can start, you know, kind of holding people for hostage for medical care, you can start harvesting organs and all that kind of fun stuff that comes with having control of the prisons and all that. But I'm just saying, this is, if you say you want a revolution, this is how you get started. And you only need about 20 or 30 kids like this to get going.